can be a dark place. As we all know, it's full of monsters and villains and other things that go bump in the night. And we're often told as children to not be scared. Well, bollocks to that, as BBC4 delivers a documentary on why exactly women should be fucking terrified. As we delve into the world of, and I wish I was joking here, penile imperialism.
The revolutionary feminists analysed the cause of women's oppression.
Well, everyone's got a hobby. Not sure if you can call these ladies revolutionary, though. I mean, Emily Davison walked in front of the King's horse and got suicided. These fuckers are just having a Tupperware party.
For them, it was male violence that kept women in their place.
Ah, those were the days, eh? Everyone knew their jobs. A man would work all day, and when he came home, his dinner was on the table. And if it was burnt, he had an evening playing Whack-a-Bitch. Simpler times.
Penile imperialism was the rule and control over women under male dominance through the wielding of the penis.
Damn right! I'm wielding mine right now.
I mean, a clear way is indecent exposure in the street.
Oh shit, so you meant the literal public holding of the cock. And here's a street to show you what she meant.
But it's rape and all other forms of sexual violence. And it's what keeps women off the streets, frightened in their homes.
Well, yeah, you should be scared of rape. It's not a good thing. No one has it on their bucket list, you know? It's one of the main reasons I don't ever want to go to prison. Well, that and the food.
Really, it's force and threat of force that keep men individually and collectively in power over women.
Well, fuck me, Sandra. Any chance of getting some of that power sent my way? I've been surviving off of fat chicks and toothy blowjobs for fuck knows how long now, and you're telling me all I have to do is whap out my business in the street? I've been doing it wrong.
That's the big one, and we started analysing all the different forms that male violence against women took.
You didn't just analyse it, did you? You fucking added a couple of ways. Like eye contact, that's sexual assault, and regretting a sexual encounter can retroactively make it rape. So you made a database and you handed it to men and they all went, oh, for fuck's sake, another list of things to do.
I used to work in the NHS. I was a nurse and I worked in casualty.
Well, Casualty's a television show, so did you work for the NHS or the BBC?
And I there saw, over the period of just a few weeks, how most of the women that were coming in were there because of something directly that a man had done to them or to people that they loved.
Yeah, people hurt each other, Sarah, but don't sit there and imply the only thing that hurts women is men. Have you seen two bitches fighting outside of a Wetherspoons? They're fucking vicious, man. They go for the eyes. And with those acrylic nails, well...
So you had young girls coming in with suicide attempts because they'd been let down so badly.
Attempted suicide. You've seen all this shit and the best you can give me is attempted suicide? Don't fucking blame that on my gender. Suicide's a choice. That's why it's called suicide and not murder.
Or because of abuse, domestic violence victims.
Yeah, alright, you got me there. It's lucky there's a shit ton of women's shelters, isn't it? And even though we know both genders get their fair share of domestic abuse, I can't find any shelters for men that don't involve homelessness or end with anger management sessions.
Women in really bad situations, and almost exclusively there because of what some man had done.
Again, you can't blame an attempted suicide because they've been let down so many times on a whole fucking gender. I mean, what does that even mean? Like, she asked him to bring home some ketchup, but instead of Heinz, he brought home a generic brand, and she was like, I'm fucking done! Fill up that bathtub and give me one of your razors. Mama's gonna make it rain.
One proposition summed up the Rev Fem's analysis. It was that any man could be a rapist.
That's your citation, is it? A bit of graffiti? Notice how it's not gendered, though, implying women can be rapists as well. But we're not gonna talk about that. Feminism means being able to cherry-pick the bits of arguments you like with no greater context. And anyone in the audience who's ever had an argument with a wife or girlfriend already knows they fucking do that anyway. No movement needed there. Is that the end?
All men are potential rapists means that when a woman is on the underground or in the street, she doesn't know which man is likely to act as a rapist towards her.
Oh, the fuck fucking language there! Saying which man makes it sound like an inevitability. 3 things in life are certain: death, taxes, and getting raped.
So she actually has to be, as the majority of women are, cautious towards all men.
Everyone has to be cautious of everyone, you buck-toothed monstrosity! Especially now! If I'm walking behind a woman at night, my first instinct is to go to the other side of the road before she accuses me of something that's gonna stay with me for the rest of my damn life!
She doesn't know who the man behind her is on the street, so she'll be looking out for the lights of the next house. She'll be putting the keys between her fingers and so on.
Oh yeah, there's that too! Women, right? They walk fucking slowly. Now I get a proper pace on when I'm out and about because walking isn't a fucking pastime, right? It's a way of getting to my destination. So all she's hearing is quickened footsteps behind her and the voice of this haggard wench telling her she's about to get some D. And all I see is the flash of metal as her keys cut up my beautiful face. And yet when I'm getting treated for my injuries, I'll get told I shouldn't have acted in a way that made a woman nervous. In other words, my behaviour helped lead to my getting assaulted. But say that to a woman and oh shit.
So just because that individual man may feel like a cuddly sort of person, she is not in a position to read that.
Well then, maybe stop making documentaries that fill women's heads with fear for the sake of my face.
So that's what all men are potential rapists means, in fact.
And all men are potential astronauts. Yet the stratosphere isn't lined with toolboxes and subscriptions to Pornhub, is it? You fucking fear-mongering, man-hating hasn't had a good seeing to since the 70s, motherfucker.
A man entered the bedroom of the Queen of this country.
Cool tattoo, bro. It's hard to find a design that incorporates your nipples.
And frankly could have raped her. I'm glad to say that thankfully he did not, at least it's not reported that he did.
But he could have, and that's the real crime here. Of course he didn't. Have you seen the Queen of England? She wasn't even hot back in the day. That's why you never see anyone masturbating with a £10 note.
But if somebody as well protected and well regarded could be subject to the threat of violence, if not actual violence.
Oh shit, I was joking about the threat of it being a crime, but you're gonna run all the way home with that, aren't you?
Where did it put us all?
Well, if anything, you've got something in common with royalty. And if you think about it, rape a queen could easily be on someone's bucket list. So I take back what I said earlier.
The mere threat of rape has an impact on all women.
And men, and even children. So what we should take from that is you're not special for having a cunt.
It does not require all men to be rapists, for all women to be afraid of rape.
But that's just not the— oh, fuck off, are you gonna bring Peter Sutcliffe into this? Like, oh, and in case you don't believe me, here's a segment on an infamous serial killer. Well, BBC4, I've already got my Myra Hindley counter-argument, so bring it on. I reckon if I cut these bits out, the whole video will be about 2 minutes long. But this is important stuff, people. Sometimes you need to zoom in on a grainy photo to show the real issues.
It was no coincidence that the revolutionary feminists in Leeds focused on male violence.
Well, no, it was obvious as soon as you said feminists.
It was in and around Leeds in the late 70s that the Yorkshire Ripper was committing his terrible crimes against women.
I haven't got any jokes about that. It was a horrific series— wait, Barbara?
What?
Oh, thank fuck, never mind.
In 1979, he'd already butchered 10 women and was still at large.
And you know why he did that? There were no feminists to teach him that killing women is wrong.
In response, in 1980, the revolutionary feminists set up an organisation called WAVOR, Women Against Violence Against Women.
Yeah, and seeing as his kill count was 10 at the time, and he went on to kill 3 more people, I can see you guys really helped.
The first thing they did was to reclaim the night.
Reclaim the night. You never owned the fucking night. No one owns the night, because it's dark, and that would be slavery.
Just the phrase reclaim the night, who were you reclaiming it from?
From men.
Oh, fuck you if you thought that was going under my radar. Did anyone else hear a snort like a fucking pig?
Reclaim the Night began when the Yorkshire Ripper was stalking the streets of West Yorkshire.
I don't think you needed to specify the location there, lady. The clue is in the name.
And we were told by police not to be out on our own late at night. So there was effectively a curfew on women.
Oh, get fucked! That's not a curfew! It's a guideline for if you don't want to get murdered!
Among our slogans were women demand the right to walk the streets at night.
That's not a right for anyone! Unless you just want it on paper, like sure, it's your right. Someone's gonna get fucked up though, but still, it's your right. Go! Walk around at 2 AM, get raped, up to you.
What do we want? An end to male violence? When do we want it? Now?
Oh yeah, I bet that did wonders.
A lot of women.
Whoa, whoa, wait, stop! That is a man walking behind a woman. Arrest him!
Were just really angry by this curfew on women that was in operation.
It wasn't a curfew! You didn't get arrested if you were out past a certain time. And how fucked up in the head do you have to be if you're complaining about not going out at night when there's a fucking serial killer on the loose? Would you be the same in a war zone? Like, hey, Sheila, don't go out there. The enemy have guns. And she's like, well, they just shouldn't aim at me.
By the control that men seem to have on women not being able to walk alone at night.
Fucking weird shot you chose to put in there, BBC4. This is actually rare footage of Andy and Chris Warski back when they were a boy band.
We were damned if we were going to follow advice that police gave us and either ask a man to accompany us. Remember, that man could well be a sexually violent man himself.
For the sole reason of being born with a Y chromosome.
Or stay in. Why wasn't there a curfew on men?
Oh, for fuck's sake, because women were getting killed. Are you a fucking idiot? If a paedophile was on the loose, would you say to your kids, go and play in the street at midnight? No, you fucking douche nozzle. Probably a poor question though, because looking at her, blatant lesbian. I'm fucking finished with this video, guys. There's another minute left about how they went out on marches at night, which suggests their tactics were to keep giving the Yorkshire Ripper victims until he got bored. It was a bold move, but it didn't work. Or it might have, if it weren't for the efforts of those pesky meddling kids, the police, who did a little more than bitch about their rights and got to the job in fucking hand. Thanks for watching, guys. I honestly don't know if this video was about rape or serial killers, but either way, please consider becoming a patron or BBC4 will do a documentary about you. And check out the Drunken Uncle merchandise, which provides an astounding 95% protection against sexual assault. The links are in the description, and remember, all women are potentially feminists.